Gluteal tendinopathy is usually characterized by pain in the side hip. You might notice this when you're doing single leg movements. So walking, running, climbing stairs, maybe even just sleeping on that affected side. If you are experiencing pain in this side hip with any of those, try incorporating the following exercises into your regular routine, so 2 to 3 times a week, and see if you notice a difference within about 3 months. I know it sounds like a long time, but it's worth putting the work into it to help your hips. We start with the staggered stance bridge. So you're gonna lay on your back, and I'm gonna keep my right hip back, or my right heel back towards my hip, and that's the leg that's going to be doing the work. This left leg is forward, so I'm in a staggered stance. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. I'm gonna do about 15, and then I'll switch over. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. After 15 on this side, I'll come back and repeat. So I'll be doing 3 sets total. When I'm doing this, I really want to think about the glutes turning on, not the hamstrings. So if my legs are too far away from me, I'm going to feel back of my legs. If I pull that a little bit closer, I'm going to feel my butt. That's where you want to feel this one. Split squats. So we've been doing these a lot at the gym lately because they really activate that glute. It would be the glute that's forward. So let's start with this side. I'm going to have my right leg forward, left leg back. I'm going to hinge just a little bit so that I'm focusing all of my weight on this front leg. Back leg is just there for support. I'm going to inhale down, exhale, press up. Inhale down, think about my big toe pushing in. That whole foot activates through the ground as I lift. I'll do 10 on one side, then I'll switch over for 10 on the other side. Once I finish 10 on both sides, maybe I take a 30-second rest, maybe I just switch over and start again. Step ups are one of my favorites. You don't need much of a lift. Here you can see I'm using a yoga block, but you could use even just the curb outside your home. So you're gonna come to whatever your lift is. You'll bring one foot on top, hinge forward, make sure that the body weight is driving through the heel. So if your heel's off here, nothing's happening in those glutes. Get the heel supported by your prop. And you're going to exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. We're going slowly, getting all the way up to the top, so I'll show you on the other side. I want to extend my hip at the top and then come back down. Notice that I'm not just coming here with still a bend in my hips. I'm actually pressing all the way through, all the way back, all the way through, all the way back. 3 sets of 12, you shouldn't need rest on this one, but if you do need it in between sets, take 30 seconds max. If you know me at all, you know I'm a big fan of bands. So you're gonna grab a band, you're going to bring it above your knees 1 inch, and you're gonna lay sideways on the ground. So here we can do clamshells. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. In order to access a little bit more, I like a side plank clamshell. So I'm going to actively push down into my elbow and draw it down towards my knees as I lift my hips up and squeeze forward. Top knee lifts, inhale, lower, relax. Exhale, lift, up, inhale, lower the knee, lower the hip. We will do 3 sets of 15. You shouldn't need rest in between, but again, if you need it between sets, you'll do right side, left side. If you need a rest, take 30 seconds. Would you look at that? We still have our band on. Let's use it. So we're gonna come into a partial squat. Now, when I say partial squat, I really just mean a bend. So I'm not actively standing up and keeping everything straight. I've got a partial bend, and then I'm going to keep my hips level as I walk to the side. Once I run out of space, I can go the other direction. If you're doing this outside and you've got plenty of space, go about 20 one direction, 20 the other direction. Same thing here. If I'm going 5 steps here, 5 steps there, do that 4 times, take a 1-minute rest, and come back, do it again. So with this one, a couple of things to keep in mind. I want my toes pointing forward. If I'm turning my toe out, I'm leading here versus if my toe's pointing forward, I lead with this. So toe points forward. The other thing, I want to keep my hips even. So you'll notice if I rock, I'm not going to feel quite as much as if I keep my hips level. So imagine 2 glasses of your favorite beverage on your hips. You're trying not to spill any of that drink because you want to drink it all at the end. The weighted sit to stand is next. So you'll be seated with a weight up at your chest. Hopefully you have a weight heavy enough to hold here, but if you need a little extra, maybe you use 2 dumbbells, maybe you use a gallon jug of water that's filled up. You're going to hinge forward, make sure the knees don't cave in as you press onto the feet to lift. Now, as you sit back down, I don't want you to just drop, so you'll control the descent, make sure those knees don't cave in, have a seat. Hinge forward, press through to lift, inhale, lower slowly, all the way down. Let's go 3 sets of 10 with a 60-second rest in between each of those.